Wait, this kind of eats. It has water in it, which is disconcerting. Does this kind of give sex toy? Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to a brand new stream. I am back with the primary objective of continuing with the housing build that we've started on Wednesday. We managed to make an entire custom greenhouse. And then randomly, we also built a kind of cozy corner reading nook opposite the greenhouse because I discovered I didn't really have the means with which to actually make the kitchen itself yet. So we've got like a gap in between the reading nook and the greenhouse. So today I'm hoping to make a start on the kitchen, and then there's also an adjoined pantry that I think would be cute to try and do together. I feel like that makes sense. I've also managed to fix the music, which you weren't able to hear in the last stream. However, I think I would like a slightly different playlist. We've kind of diverted from lo-fi to piano, which is very nice, but what's this? A little bit the same. This looks more like the vibe. So yeah, we're gonna just get stuck straight in, I think, although pretty sure there's a fair amount of decor that we're gonna have to go and buy first. I'm a little bit limited in terms of what I have available right now to make a kitchen, I think, but we can have a look, see. I think I should have some basic stuff, and I have an idea of how we should lay it out. But yeah, it might be a couple trips to a vendor or two that we have to do before we can really get stuck in. I've also switched over to my shaman. We were furnishing last stream on my druid. The reason for switching over to this character, I actually made her and character boosted her for the purpose of housing, which might sound absurd. But I just thought housing really fits thematically with the Pandaren, in my opinion. So I made a grandma panda, and she wears the really cute pilgrim dress. And this is kind of a house inspired by her. So she also has inscriptions. So she's my die crafter for housing, which is kind of the main reason I wanted to switch to her today, was having the die available rather than having to like log over and constantly like switch characters and everything. So we have a wealth of different types of die. I made pretty much almost one of every option because I don't know really what any of them look like yet. It does mean if there's one we really like, we probably will run out very quickly. But last night I was just kind of dabbling in gathering some herbs and doing some crafting for housing. And I ran into the obstacle in the last stream of not having any dyes to my name. So everything that you see is just the default color that they come in. So having some options now to customize colors will enable us to broaden our horizons a little bit. I don't think I'm going to go too deep into color scheme just yet, because I think a color scheme will find us when we spend some more time decorating. And if we want to start with a kitchen space, I was imagining it coming in this corner as like a little L shape. And if there's space, it might be cute to even have maybe a kitchen island or maybe a bar that comes out in a line here. But an island I feel like might be cooler. I'm just not sure whether to expand outwards here or not, or keep it pretty tight knit. But regardless, let's see what we've got. We're going to need some form of table. These cabinets are pretty nice, but they're a little generic. I wonder if there's maybe other options we could go for, but it's nice to have that. And it does fit pretty nicely in terms of scale too. I do have the Pandaren cooking table, I think. Cook? Maybe I don't. How would I search this? Let me try and filter it a bit better. It would be really cute to go more Pandaren aesthetic, but I don't think I have enough decor to kind of make that happen. Oh, this one has like almost like a runner on it, but it's tiny, unfortunately. Kind of curious about scaling this up. It doesn't look too bad scaled up. And I would honestly wonder about potentially having it sized down and then putting it inside another one. What would happen if we rotated this backwards and then pushed it in and up? Wonder if, do we think this would look okay? Not really sure what a like blanket would be doing on a kitchen counter, but it was just an idea that crossed my mind. You can see some clipping, which is a shame, but it does kind of work. Maybe in like a pantry sort of, that might work a bit better. We do also have the long version of that counter, and I mean, look, it fits perfectly in this corner. So I'm curious if we potentially get 2 of those. Maybe? I think that might be the best, like everything I've got right now that would kind of match. That's me just buying one of everything and moving on. But I think these are just from vendors in the neighborhood, so it wouldn't be an issue to get more. Maybe. I'm almost a bit curious about clipping it further into the wall, but I don't want it to bleed into this room. Oh, this is going to be the pantry through this curtained off archway. That's certainly not final. I've just thrown some items that I think would be cute in here for us to come back to in a little bit. Okay, so we've got some ideas for countertops. What else might be? We need some form of fire. If I type cook, we can have kind of an open top thing that I would probably try and clip into a cupboard, into a counter. It's not really the vibe. I'm also curious about this being an oven, meaning we can kind of push it down. That works pretty outstandingly, if you ask me. Oh, it even works with the metal along the bottom. It's definitely a start. Would I make a sink, like a basin? I probably would. Pump. We have this, which would kind of work. Or what about like pipe? We could make a tiny custom tap probably out of these pipe segments. How small do these shrink down? It would be a pretty large tap by the look of things. But I think we have the means to make it happen. Because this piece can probably just attach onto the end of this one. If I'm not getting in its way. Oof. It does, just about. It's a little clippy. But I'm thinking, if we push it into the window, raise it up slightly. This might look really boo-boo and we might have to start again, but it's really big. That's my only issue. Unless we swap these around, I feel like this might be better brought this way. Show me the axis. I can't see the degrees. We want a 90-degree turn on this. Yeah, sadly that is as small as it goes. And then we would want to... I mean... Do we need this piece? We probably do, don't we? Because this is just going to clip into the window otherwise, which doesn't really make a huge deal of sense. And it also doesn't come out far enough. So I think we do need both pieces. If we put it out the way, figure out the first piece first. Hmm. We would need to angle it. It's clipping right now, but that's okay. This is more like what I was envisioning, but it's kind of difficult to execute. It's probably, I feel like this might get deleted. I just can't make it work the way that I want it to work. It could potentially work just on its own, like with one piece rather than two. Hey Eva, how have you been? I've been not too bad, thank you, Baloo. It's lovely to see you. How have you been? Happy New Year. Do you know what? We'll come back to this. That wasn't the main aspect I was focusing on today. What else does one have in a kitchen? A fridge. Now, I have a feeling I could quite easily make a fridge out of something that's not a fridge. What would we want? And where would it go? Unless we don't use a fridge, because I have ideas for other things, and I know so far we've been going for realism, but I feel like a fridge is... Does a fridge just feel really weird in World of Warcraft? I feel like it does. My idea was going to be to size up this Silver Moon themed pillar and flip it around. I don't have the keybind on this character. That's really going to bug me. Housing. Switch to next rotational axis. Oops, I just summoned my storm elemental. With dismiss. Sorry. Oh, and I got a baby one as well. Damn. Is this live or are you on the PTR? This is live, yes. With the housing update from... Did they introduce it in 11.27? I think they did. Housing, at least for early access, has been out for a little while now. I have been poking around on the beta as well, though, just to see what's new, what's coming. We want... it is this axis we want. This sized up and shrunk down, not shrunk down, but lowered, looks like a, you know, conventional fridge. I don't love the way that it looks. I don't think. But that, at first glance, that does give fridge. And then you can put, what would I put to create like a handle? I guess these. They're the wrong color, but these shrunk down, or are they too big? I think they're too big. I knew it was out, but I wasn't sure if it was PTR out or live out. Yeah, it's live out, at least early access, but in Midnight there's going to be so much more early access. As much as there is a ton of decor that you can get now, it's going to grow exponentially in a couple of weeks. I feel like if you can summon a water elemental that can cast frost spells, then you can come up with a refrigerator in Azeroth. Good point, good point. I mean, now that we've got the basic of a fridge shape, maybe we can keep it. I'm wondering if I can find something that would function as handles. I'm thinking something pretty rectangular, but something small that can be shrunk down to the size of a handle. I only have one of these shelves, but that would probably be really good. Unless... Shall we try and make it look like a fridge freezer? If we shrink this down and put it in between the two, fridges are usually a bit bigger than freezers, right? At least that's what I'm accustomed to. Damn, because it's curved, it's not quite the right shape. It comes out too far, but I have a vision. Probably gonna have to use like benches and stuff. Bench scaled way down. We're on the same wavelength. In fact, let me just look at all of the options in tables. This is my issue. I have one of everything. Got two of those, but that's not really going to work. Maybe this. It's quite wide. How small can you go? Oh, small enough. It can even be a little bit bigger. Sized up and pushed in. Oh. I mean, we're getting somewhere. This is much more promising. It's very fiddly stuff. That kind of gives fridge freezer. And it's not clipping. I don't think. It's a start. I mean, that's going to bother me. You see how it's like, the angle is funky? Can I fix that? I probably can by doing this. No? I think because the decor piece itself is not necessarily symmetrical or even, it's gonna screw us a little bit. It's not too noticeable. I'll take it. Have I tried? What about... can we tip it this way? Does that do anything? It does kind of help, actually, but then it's not straight. I can't win. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that. Once you back away from it, it works. Yeah, I think so. At first glance, you understand what that is. What can we use to, like, distinguish this? I was wondering about putting it like it looks like it's built into a cabinet, because I feel like that's probably quite achievable. We would probably need some structural pieces. Also, I need to once again go shopping for some structural pieces, I think. What if we used these sorts of things? They're enormous is my issue, and I don't think you can scale them down. No, you can move them and re-angle them, but I mean, it's going to completely cover this archway if we did it like that. So we need something slimmer. Do we just use a wall? No, we can't use a wall. If we move this along, and shift this along as well. Maybe there. And the hidden table. Could use the bench again or one of them as a handle. That's true, actually. Table. Thing is, I guess they're going to have legs, aren't they? There's this. I mean, it's technically horde theme. This is too short. This is not the right vibe. For science, let's just see if this works. We want to tip it upwards. Blue, I think you might be on something because it has legs, but I think I can work with those and just hide them by making them look like shelves. It's promising. Again, don't worry too much about the contrasting wood colors that are going on here because we're going to fix color schemes as time goes on. Haven't even touched any dye in this house so far. Blue, you're a genius. Look at that. I'm not mad at that. We can cover the top up with some platforms and pillars and whatever. It does... It's like not completely... It's a little bit concave. Or is that just... No, it's the fridge. The fridge is at a funky angle because it's technically not a fridge. Can we create an optical illusion by tipping the fridge? Maybe. Maybe if it leans on the other side, you won't notice it quite so much. Oh, you're talking about the handles. Well, I'll give this one to you anyway, because you prompted the idea, so... I probably will use a table for a handle as well, to be fair. Problem is I don't have another one of these. Weather treated wooden table. I think, again, this is probably just from a vendor nearby. Weather treated. I'm just looking up where specific furniture pieces come from using the housing .wow database. Housing.wowdb.com. This comes from, yeah, a vendor in the neighborhood. So if we get a second one of those, my thought is to then use probably one of these if I can. Oh no, they're too big. A platform? Can I shrink platforms down? Oh, I can, thank goodness. Okay. A platform can be used as a shelf, I'm sure. It's just a little hard to maneuver things up high. The shelf's kind of high, but I think I might use two. Is this clipping? It is clipping slightly. For it to not clip through this room, how far out does it have to jut on the other side? Oh, that's fine. That's fine. And then we can grab another one. Change the size to match this one, which is 50. In fact, I think I want it even smaller. That's more realistic of a shelf. You know, she's never going to reach them, but that's okay. She's probably got a little step ladder somewhere. We can put an assortment of different clutter pieces up there, and then a second one of these tables on this side. And for good measure, let's grab another platform. Oh, maybe I should have put them this way. Yeah, I should have put them that way. That's my bad. Hang on. Easily fixed. Let's turn them this way. See, you can tell I'm not very construction experienced because I was just going to let those exposed beams sit there like that. $360. Clipping? It is clipping. Okay. This one's clipping much more than the other one. We could also, when we get to this room, decorate this wall so that it covers any mistakes. Okay, I think they need to be smaller, if possible. They still work for what we want them to do, I think. If we size them down to 40, oops. Oh, stuff like that really irritates me. Okay. So we have a fridge and an oven. And then preferably some free counter spaces. So we're going to need some more cabinets. And then I'm interested in having cabinets above as well, because I don't want it to look like super open space. Tables. Do you think we can turn these small cabinets upside down and they would function up high? feel like they probably would. Good morning, how are you? So excited for this expansion. I'm good, thank you, Yuki. I am very excited as well. Player housing is one of the main draws for me, although it is a little bit daunting at first, but it's fun once you just throw yourself into it and try not to take it too seriously. How are you doing? I think we're going to have to stop here and go and get some more furniture pieces before we can feel like this is really coming together. But I mean, I've been live for 30 minutes and this is something. I definitely feel like the fridge is really going to irk me, and I feel like maybe I'm just going to make it entirely wood and we will just, like in The Sims, we'll make believe that there's a fridge behind it or something. You have to farm all the furniture or buy with gold. It's a mixture, so lots of things you can buy from vendors, either with gold or expansion specific currencies. Other things you can craft with professions. Other things come from getting achievements or completing quests. So it's a real mixture of different things. Let me just fix my music. It's really loud in my ear. Okay. I think some of the things we need come from this person. We've got carved wooden tables. I made quite a good deal of gold on my other character not too long ago, so I don't mind about splashing a little bit. I have one of these. I'm curious about getting quite a few. Probably not for the kitchen, but definitely for the pantry. And then I used... Oh gosh, there's so many, look. 3 of those, and let's get 3 of these too. Damn. Sure, we'll get 3 of those ones as well. Ooh. Maybe we could turn some open carved wooden crates on their sides and have an open cabinet just for a little bit of change. Does this person sell the bench that we need? Sturdy wooden bench? It's not that one. It's the weather-treated wooden bench. You do sell it. I've missed it somewhere. Weather-treated wooden bench. It's right there. Oh, it's a table. Let's get... I'll just get more than we need. I guess I'm going to be quite busy. It does take some time to, you know, see everyone and buy all the different things that you might want, but all in good time.
My goods will serve you well.
We were looking for the table, which we've got. The cabinet. Surely you sell the cabinet. Wagon, tent, wine press. Maybe it's someone else. What do you sell? Cushions, basket, bathtub. Short wooden cabinet. I'm going to get 10 of these. This is also kind of adorable. I don't love all the metal accents. I'm very curious about customizing them to potentially make it look like it's not not metal. Even if I can make it coppery, which I know is a swatch of dye, that would be better in my opinion. Sturdy wooden wash basin. I don't have one of these. I'm kind of curious about making my own wash basin potentially, but for the purposes of right now, it's not a bad thing to have. I think we've got pillars, structural. Show me collected. We're mostly looking at the Stormwind stuff. That's the kind of lighter brown. We've got lots of walls and doorways. How are we doing with windows? We've got a good amount of windows, at least the basic ones. Doors, I'm honestly not too worried about. I feel like I'm probably going to end up using more archways than doors. I find that the doors are really harsh. Even this, which is just kind of a basic door, there's so much metal. Do they have decorations that fall off bosses? Yes, I think so. Trying to think of an example. I haven't found any that are really difficult to get. Decorations from bosses. I'm drawing a blank. I feel like there are. I don't remember where they come from right now. I think so. Maybe I can find the answer for you. All categories, subcategories. Nope. Sources, crafting, quest, and vendor. So maybe I'm wrong, actually. Maybe you don't get any boss drop decor items. Okay. While we're here, let's just see if there's anything else we might want. The Belemeth stuff is not really what I'm looking for. It's a little bit too ornate. And the wood texture is not what I'm looking for. The main vibe for this house currently is just, I mean, cottagecore. I wrote cottage in the stream title, but lots of wood, make it kind of rustic. And honestly kind of basic for now. We could do a riddle to get a door, but I don't think I'm going to do that right now. Okay. Is there anything else that's worth getting here? I don't think so. Let's just go back to the house. I don't live too far away from the center. It's here, right? Yeah. Well, something I noticed, by the way, this is a really small detail, but it's worth noting in case they don't change it. You can move your front door along the wall that it comes on by default. By default, it's centered completely, but you can move it all the way to the left and all the way to the right. So I've moved it all the way to the left and then created a second little room off to the side. But when you spawn into the house, it still puts you in the middle, as if the door was still in the middle. So I kind of spawn like here, which is a bit weird. They might fix that, they might not, but just thought it was worth noting in case you wanted to try and move your front door. You can do it, but if you put furniture or structural pieces down, you might glitch out a little bit. Okay. So we have some more tables to work with. Do we want to be really basic and just put two of these together? Definitely going to have to hide this with a lot of clutter because that you can see the visual snapping or the What's that called? Clipping. Plus, I don't like the metal peeping out, but if we were to lower this down, I think it would look a little bit strange. Low enough that it's, yeah, because then it looks sunken down, which I don't really care for. I am wondering about still using these cabinets. Potentially these can be used to create a little bit of a distinction and a difference, some contrast. But again, the clipping. Maybe we can use these for the island if we're still going to do an island. I'm going to just put her out of the way for a second. We can finish making the fridge cupboard by grabbing the other one of these. And then we scaled, this is actually still at 100% scale. We just need to tip it this way. Does this, I thought there was a way to make it snap to multiples of 10. Unless it's only while you're holding it. Oh, there is. Oh, it's multiples of 5. That's a shame that it doesn't work with the keybinds, but at least it's a thing that we can do. Oh, it's coming together. This is kind of exactly what I was envisioning. It's just the colors are off. Just need to bring this one forward. And then, I didn't notice that clipping at the top until now. Maybe we have one shelf right on top of the fridge, and then we might have to use this to do some hiding, honestly. Because I think if this goes up and is enlarged... Oh, that doesn't look good. Well, hang on a minute. Maybe it does. It just needs some extra little touches. It needs to come down slightly. That fixes the clipping there. I don't really mind that it juts out slightly. I feel like that makes sense. Can you decorate with like swords and weapons? It would be really fun to make a kitchen knife block with some of the daggers and swords in game scaled down. You definitely can. Yeah, people have become very, very creative. I don't know how many kind of weapon decor pieces there are, but I mean, they have like weapon racks and things, and this thing has weapons all over it, but obviously you're going to struggle to hide that in other pieces. But the creativity knows no bounds in terms of what you can make look like something it's not. You'd probably have to combine lots of small items that don't look anything like weapons and then shape them together to make them look like weapons. I'm sure people can do it. We would then need another platform scaled down. And risen up. This one's scaled up even more, actually. This is clipping, isn't it? Oh, it's not. That's impressive. Can I cover the metal? That looks so much better. You see how that changed how it looked instantaneously? I did not think that there would be so many components to making a little fake fridge. Ignore the clipping. Then the answer is probably to raise these up even further. Oh, the metal, you guys. I actually don't mind that because that kind of just looks like it's a beam that's meant to be there, despite the fact that it's discolored. Hi, Adam. Thank you very much. I had a nice Christmas and New Year's. Hope you did too. Okay. I scaled this one up even further, didn't I? 111. Oddly specific. Something's happening here. Something's definitely happening. So then what's missing? We would just put... Would I put clutter items all the way up at that top that's almost touching the ceiling, or do we just hide it with another platform? The easy option is probably another platform, isn't it? Did thank you. Ate and drank loads. How's life been for you? I mean, in terms of Christmas and New Year's, that sounds about the same for me as well. It was very chill, which I very much needed. And otherwise, life is okay, thank you. There's not terribly much to report. Right now, I'm just excited for the new expansion of WoW to come out in a couple weeks. Making a ton of content where I can. I have a second YouTube channel for stream VODs now. So when this stream is finished, it will get uploaded to my VODs channel. Should probably make a chatbot command for that. I don't have one right now. Trying to do at least 2 videos a week on my main channel and then throwing in streams wherever we can make them fit. Laura mentioned she wants to organize brunch in Feb. Yes, I would definitely be down. I don't think my diary is terribly full for February right now, so sounds good to me. I am getting to the point here where the colors are really throwing me off. So I'm a bit curious about fixing that now. Oh, the little die sound is really cute. Okay, so in terms of browns, oh gosh, we have so many. The wood textures are right at the bottom. I quite like heartwood or copper, which is technically a metallic swatch, but because it's on wood, it looks still like wood. I do like heartwood, but I fear it's really dark. Maybe holy oak tan, potentially? Yeah, this is the issue. You can't customize platforms, so we're going to have to match them as best as we can to platforms, which is probably going to be heartwood or copper. Honestly, I might go with copper. Thanks, Adam. That sounds good. I'm excited. Am I regretting my choices? Copper works on these side pieces. I'm happy with that. Trying to compare the two brown colors here. I think Heartwood is actually closer. I think this is the first time I'm actually dyeing something. Okay, we can dye the metal to be the same. Only have 2 Heartwood though. No. Okay. Heartwood and copper probably works for now. I don't want gold, I don't think. Although bronze is not too bad. Adam, thank you very much for the gifted sub. That's very, very kind of you. Appreciate it. Oh, you're heading off. Thank you, Adam. Hope work goes okay. Appreciate it very much. We want Heartwood and copper. This recently used section is nice to have. Okay, it's not perfect, but in terms of getting close to the platform color, it's not too bad. I have no Heartwood left. Maybe what we do. I'm wondering if the platforms are the problem, you know? Maybe the Belemeth platform is a bit closer to what we would be looking for, but we're getting very dark. Are these the same color or are they slightly different? Okay. So the straight platform is slightly lighter, but it matches the ground, the floor. This matches the wood that we're using. Oh boy. Or we just use white, like the stone. That's going to match the fridge, but maybe that would look strange. Tell you what, I'm going to take out everything so far apart from what we're happy with, which is the fact that we've hidden the fridge in a fake cupboard that's coming together slowly but surely. I'm envisioning either putting a couple shelves and then blocking the rest off like we just did, or potentially even blocking like almost all of it off. Can we use doorways? Can't size doorways down. Okay. That doesn't work. Can't size down pillars. Not sure what else to suggest. Could try and use more benches as shelves. I bought more of these, didn't I? This might be the move, honestly, to make sure the colors match. Maybe if they were tipped upside down, the legs being there might make a bit more sense. Oh, that looks cute. Wait, 360. That makes more sense. We've got some clipping. Size down. Oh, that looks so much better. Do we lower this to touch the top of the fridge, maybe? And then we could add probably one more. Maybe there? Okay. And then honestly, do we grab a third one and tip it forward so that the seat is facing outwards and it looks like a makeshift cabinet? Don't know if this will look okay. Flip this 90 degrees. We can fix the metal look. It kind of looks like it's boarded up, which I don't love, but if we push it in, no. We can't scale it up any further. I guess once we customize the color, it won't look quite so much like it's boarded up. Might look a bit more purposeful. And then to close that gap, we can grab a last one. And once again, flip it. Does that look bad? Can't really tell. Oh, the lock-in is crazy. The controls are so difficult from certain angles. Like that? I think that's like my favorite version of what we've done so far. We do have that gap at the top. And I used all the tables that we had. Probably have something else that we can use instead. Trying to be really cheeky here. Oh. That doesn't look too bad to me. More or less happy with how that looks. Once we dye it and it's all one kind of uniform color, that will make much more sense. Could we maybe see if we have any clutter items we can throw up there right now? What would you put up on those shelves? We would love like jars of something. It's a high mountain drum that could definitely be used for something. Maybe some books, some recipe books that, I mean, fits pretty perfectly, which is good. Do we want that many? Don't really have options of having shorter stacks of books. Top or bottom shelf? Let's go top shelf. Cute. What can we do with you? Does this look like anything, or does it just look a bit weird? Do you know what you could probably do with these? I think I've only got one. If they're customizable. No, they're not. That's a shame. I was going to say you could shrink them all the way down and make one black and one white, and they could be salt and pepper shakers. That looks a bit strange up there. I don't like that. Food and drink. I don't think you'd put actual food up there. Drinks. Now that looks like it should go over here, maybe. And cover this clipping issue. Or be part of the solution. I'm thinking of putting a vase over here as well, like sticking a vase in the corner. I think I've still got some baskets. Quite a big fan of using these baskets shrunk down as vases because we have a little bit of a limited option in terms of vases currently, at least in early access. I mean, we've pretty much instantaneously solved most of the clipping issue, which is very good. What if we rotate it like that? Does that look better, or does this look better? I think this looks better. Eesh, you can still see it there, but that's okay. Then we want some flowers. Could we make something look like a herb? These, like, just grass patches probably would work, wouldn't they? Potential there. I was also looking at this. Do you reckon this shrinks down small enough? Does that look really strange? It does look pretty strange. It doesn't really... Yeah, it doesn't fit in the vase. I don't really have things that look like herbs. Maybe we just go with these. We could probably use a couple of these weeds shrunk down. I mean, chives, for example, kind of look like this, right? Get a couple different sizes, spin them all to different angles, try not to clip them through the basket. They are kind of clipping if you look super closely, but that's okay. We can't have them too big because then they outgrow the basket. But we can create the illusion of some of them being bigger by raising some up higher than the rest. I don't mind that. Looks okay. Anyway, we were looking at things to put on these shelves. Do you think we could get away with hiding another version of these drinks up here? Maybe, especially if they're customizable. And like spin them round. Can we customize them? Nope. Okay, that's okay. I don't think we'd put fruit up here. That looks a little bit strange. Would you put a teacup up there? You wouldn't know that it's got stuff in it. It's a potential. With the saucer or just... Yeah, with the saucer probably. It's really large. Oh, it is steaming because it does have something in it. Maybe that's okay. Or we put the tea set up there. No, I feel like the tea set's going to go out on a table. No, the steaming's going to annoy me. What else do I have that would go on a shelf? We have a Pandaren book. Maybe this could be a standalone book on the bottom shelf. Maybe it's a family recipe book. We want to tip it this way. No, I want to tip it this way and this way. This is the part of the advanced decorating that I find a bit tricky, is the different axes. I was going to lean this one up against the shelf. Like this. Is that clipping up there? Maybe a little bit. Oh yeah, it was for sure. You have to make it pretty small for it to not hit the shelf above. That's cute. I think it's the right way around. I'll take it. Anything else? I'm happy for this to be cluttered the house because it kind of adds to that cottage vibe, right? Maybe we finally have a place for this. I haven't used this yet. I've had it for a while. Still not entirely sure what it's meant to be, but maybe it belongs up here. It's got a light in it, which I don't love. Don't think we want strange green liquid in the kitchen. Maybe a really tiny ottoman would look like it's a pot of something. Oh, it would have to be really tiny though. Not sure what that's meant to be, but maybe if we stacked something on top of it that's like the same size or even slightly smaller, then it looks like maybe it's a pot of tea leaves, or who knows? And then it kind of covers the fact that the bottle in the back has a light in it, because that's kind of disconcerting. Sure. We've got books, we've got some drinks, we've got a random bottle that we're hiding, we've got a fake pot of something. There's the priest pillow that can look like a bag of produce, but I'm considering putting this in the pantry. Because I mean, up here it's a little bit wasted just because you'll barely ever see it. Yeah, I'm gonna put that in the pantry. It makes more sense, I think. I have some candles. An elixir bottle. No. An alchemist's retort. Maybe turned the right way, it would create the illusion of something that it's not. There is a bowl of goulash that's also steaming because it's food. Valdrakken oven. We could honestly just put a little light up there. All else fails, we can always just throw some flowers up there or something. Or we could probably shrink down some baskets. That might be a good idea. Let's go for the basket idea, shall we? Shall we get a whitewash river basket or just a wicker basket? I'm kind of vibing with the basket with this handle. I mean, that fills the space, doesn't it? It does what we want it to do. That's probably fine for now. Don't want to clutter it too much. We're at budget 322 of 2050. So we're still totally fine in terms of what we're able to afford. How do we look from afar? I mean, I get the vibe, I get the vision. I see what it's trying to do. It's just a work in progress. No, Now that I'm looking at this like metal, I really want to exchange that for something that's wood. Maybe this is fine. Mm-mm. It's going to be too big. This, on the other hand, although it has a rope on it, nope. Maybe my issue is the fact that we don't want this. Genuinely. We can put the fridge looking thing back if we want to. But I'd rather make something that's a bit more custom. This is interesting. Got some tiling, like mosaic on it. You can't customize it? Oh, it's an iron forge table. I don't know if I care, for goodness sake. I don't know if I care for the colors. But it does look like a door when flipped upwards, which I appreciate. And I think we want to tip it this way and upwards. Okay, it looks a little bit weird now that I'm actually executing it. But I do think it looks better than an actual fridge. Really wish we could customize those tiles. I'm honestly tempted to grab another one of these tables and just flip it to make it face us. Try some other options first. Like maybe this is okay? It's the huge metal corners that are my issue. We're getting somewhere. Let's grab some more dye. Grab some more of these weather-treated tables. Then I think it will feel like it's maybe coming together a bit more. Honestly, I'm probably happy to make the dye myself because dye currently is quite expensive, understandably. But I'm not going to go and farm the herbs to make the pigment to make the dye. I will make the pigment, but I'm going to buy the herbs, I think. So we wanted heartwood dye, which requires brown dye. Brown dye requires brown dye pigment, which I actually have some available for. Cinderbloom. If you don't know about dye, there are all of these pre-existing colors that you can just unlock with, I believe alchemists and scribes can both do work with dye for housing. And then you can farm all types of flowers from every expansion. And depending on what the flower is, they can be milled down to create a color of dye. So there's all sorts of options. Brown can be made from Briarthorn, which is classic, Wrythebark, which is Dragonflight, Adder's Tongue, which is Northrend, blah, blah, blah. And some of them like crossover. So to my knowledge, pretty much every flower in the game can be used, no matter how old it is. Okay, we've made 10 brown pigments, meaning we can now make heartwood dye times 10. I might stock up on heartwood dye because if we're going with a woodsy theme, or wooden, I should say, we're going to need a lot of preferably one specific color of wood so that it's not super contrasting. So if I just buy a ton of Cinderbloom, they're 6 gold each. What if I get... Is 1,000 too much? Screw it. And then we can make 100 Cinderbloom or brown dye from this and then mill that into a pigment. I think what I'll do in this case, while we are milling, I'll take a quick break since we can't really do anything else while the milling is happening. When we come back, we will buy some more of those tables that we need and craft them into a more furnished and hopefully color coordinated kitchen. So I'm gonna get some die rolling and I will be back shortly. Alrighty, we're back. The milling is done, which means now we can craft the dye, which we want heartwood dye. I'm just going to make 100 of the same thing. Hey Guido, what's up? How are you doing? This should keep us going for quite a while for changing any wood tones and hopefully making things feel a bit more uniform color-wise. I'm not sure about other colors, although I always gravitate towards kind of sage green. I find very neutral and calming. We have a ton of options in my inventory to at least test out, but we have, you know, max 5 stacks of any of them, so we would run out very quickly if we find one that we really like. I just think I don't want too much of a garish contrast. I don't want super bright reds or blues. I think muted is the vibe for this particular style that we're going for. Honestly, keeping it in the warm tones with the oranges and the browns would be nice. Just don't want it to be too samey. Trying to think what would come next after the kitchen and pantry are done. Because I've kind of cornered myself with the first room because we've used the the room that looks like a cross with the 4 rooms jutting out on either side. I've used the left side for a pantry, the forward side as a greenhouse, the side at the bottom as like a reading nook, and only the right hand side is free. So we're going to have to use that as the traversal through the house. But what we're going to put there, I am not sure. We don't have any other dye that we can make right now. I think that's all good. I just came also for some more of those tables.
May I be of service?
Weather treated wooden table. I think we're all good.
Thank you for browsing.
Hopefully. I haven't yet, touch wood, run into any decor that I really, really need that is locked behind something long or arduous. So fingers crossed it stays that way. Tired? This new diet is kicking my butt. Oh, which diet is that? I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. It was worth a shot, but this ornate iron forge table is not going to work for what we need. I'm going to grab the trusty table that we've been using. If I can find it. Weather treated wooden table. Let's make it heartwood and copper. I'm probably going to run out of copper too, aren't I? I didn't think about that. How much copper do I have? I have 1 left. Fantastic. Kind of completely forgot that there was a metal component to all of these tables we're using. See, have I done it wrong? No, it's just the lighting. Didn't consider that lighting might be an issue. These wood colors are the same, but because of the lighting probably from the windows, it looks different, which is a bit of a shame. Like, very different. Did I definitely do that right? It's heartwood and copper. Right? Heartwood and copper. Oh no. Fine. Gonna have to come forward. Problem is, this is gonna have to come forward too. As with everything that's on it. High protein, low carb diet. Oh, interesting. High protein, low carb. So that's limited bread, pasta, rice, and such. And then, what, lots of meat, eggs. Because now, if we make this heartwood, the sides of the table seem to be a darker brown than the actual top, which maybe makes sense, because I guess the top of a table would be worn. We'll see how noticeable it is going forward. We can use our last copper, and then this one will just have to stand out for a bit. don't think I mind that the top shelf is more inset than the bottom one. I feel like that works. That's not a big issue to me. Could I use a different copper color just for now? Is that noticeable? Probably not. That will do. Then, nope. We can save dye there and there actually. You only see one part of the very top piece. Oops, I didn't save it. So the fact that there's still different colors despite all of them being literally the same color. That's fine. While we're here, shall we get these to match? I think as we customize more and more, the colors will not seem as stark. Are we going to use a different color on the front panel? Or just keep it the way that it is? I don't want it to be super plain. I think for now it's going to have to be. It's basically the only color that we've got multiples of is the heartwood. Silver sage green. These other colors aren't really muted enough. I quite like that. Grizzly Hills green. Potentially. Do have 5 of those. We can try and inject some color and maybe do green. Is green a nice color in a kitchen? Meat, veggies, nuts, Greek yogurt, cheese, and eggs. That does sound pretty healthy. Is that a diet you've set for yourself, or has it come from something else? I've been eating a lot of yogurt recently. I've been really on my yogurt and granola breakfast menu currently. Oh, I can't choose. I kind of like this Moonberry Amethyst is a cute color. I feel like purple doesn't belong as such in the kitchen though. Hmm. I think we should play it safe for now and just carry on with Heartwood. Later we will figure out a color that kind of we vibe with. I mean, that looks instantly better already. And then maybe we could make the oven kind of a brassy color. There's metallic colors at the bottom. They're very dark though. Bronze? Bronze could work. Could maybe even go super light. No, that looks a bit strange, doesn't it? Maybe Holy Oak Tan. It's technically a wooden texture, but I'm not mad at the way it looks. I just think I don't want to go darker. These colors are just way too cartoony anyway. Let's try the Holy Oak can. I set it. I want to start training for wrestling by the end of the year. Ooh, that's exciting. Was there anything that motivated that, or did it just come to fruition with the new year? I used to watch a lot of wrestling when I was young, as in like WWE. If there were any other types of wrestling, they were probably a bit beyond me. Now, I actually don't mind that the top of the oven is clipping up to the counter, because I can probably make something out of that. It looks purposeful. I'd love to put like a kettle on it or something. Unless I'm really just obvious and I put food on as if it looks like it's cooking on the top. The main thing I can think of is goulash, but it just looks so gross. Why don't we try... I only have one cooking thingy. Razor Wind cooking grill. I'm not a fan of how this looks at all. But if it's shrunk down, does it work? It's literally exposed fire. Wasn't quite the vibe I was going for, but it's smoking a lot. But I mean, maybe if we had two and one was smaller. I kind of see the vision. The athlete in me is itching to do something. That's fair enough. I wish you all the best. Sounds very interesting. Out of curiosity. See, if I've got a Razor Wind cooking grill, that tells me that there's a Founder's Point one. King grill. Oh, unless the Alliance is the stove, like the oven thing. Cookout campfire? No. I reckon if we get a second one of those, as much as I don't love the way that it looks, and you can't customize it, it's giving something. I'm seeing the vision. What would you put on one of these stove tops just to make it look a bit more interesting? Can I make something look like a pot? Maybe one of these pipes could be turned. No, that won't work. The creativity is crazy. Like my need to experiment and try and make something out of something that it's not. I'm gonna throw this out while I can see it. Everything's wooden. All of a sudden, when I want something that's metal, filter by style? Nope. Mechanical? No. Rugged, folk, opulent, holiday. No, we're just gonna look by the default list. This is honestly a little bit promising. I bet the bottom of it is flat though. Yup. But maybe it's usable. Gonna have to put something in it to disguise that flat top. But I mean, it's not bad. It's I think it's something Dranic. So the vibe is a bit strange, but I mean it's a pot, so it's fine, right? I'm kind of curious if we could size the goulash down. And kind of make our own custom food, because the bone really throws me off, and the bowl it comes in, it makes sense because it's for those huge people from that dungeon in Dragonflight. You know the one. That was actually an example. Baloo asked me earlier if there was any decor that drops from bosses, and I said I don't think so, but this item does. This item drops from the last boss of Neltharis from Dragonflight. That's not too bad. I still strongly dislike the bone, but from afar it maybe looks like a wooden spoon. And now I've got myself wondering if I can actually make a wooden spoon to hide the bone or put on top of the bone. I'm wondering about. We've got these flags that I'm never going to use. Like, how does the bottom of this look? Curious. I have a feeling it's not going to work. But this flipped on its head. Give me this. Oh, the flag is it has physics. I forgot that that's a thing. Pole? Post? Ooh, a post. Have quite a few options here. Oh, this surely. Oh, look. It's going to take some maneuvering, but if we didn't want it to look like a bone, we can actually just hide it completely with something else. Oh, it's fiddly stuff. I mean, hey, that looks more like a something you would stir that with than it looks like a bone. So it has the bone sticking out of it, but I don't mind that detail. Okay. What else would we put here? Maybe that nice hanging corn bushel. I'm not sure what you would call that. Ornamental. Is it called corn? Dried whitewash corn. Makes sense to put over here, I would say, probably. More or less. Just feel like this wall is looking a little bit plain. I'm curious about maybe creating like a, what do they call it? I have to be careful what I say. A backsplash to the back of this to make it look a bit more interesting. Hey, it's a rogue. House is looking incredible. Oh, thank you. It's very much a work in progress. So far we have made a greenhouse, a fake indoor-outdoor greenhouse that you can technically go into through this fake door, but you can't do much walking around once you're in here. We haven't yet got the real exterior, what do they call them? Interior, exterior rooms where it looks like you've got the outdoors from the indoors. So we've done a makeshift outdoors with some blue rugs on the wall and some fake sunlight. And we have ourselves some fruit and flowers and things in here. And then in the last stream, we also made a little reading nook with a fireplace and lots of cushions. And then today the mission has been to start making a kitchen. And I think something's happening. It takes some time. I've also just thrown this wash basin here because I plan to use it. I just haven't actually got that far yet. Although, to be honest, would I put it on the end or would I feel like I'd put it here and sink it down? See, you got me all over the place. I can never choose where to work next. It's pretty easy. Oh my goodness, you can't change the color of it. Are you kidding? Well, that changes things, doesn't it? I wanted to change the color of the wood. How strange, because it's literally in the same style as these counters that we've got, but you can't customize it. We'll have to make our own one. Have you been playing with Housing Rogue so far? Is this cute? No, it's not. And it also clips into the oven, which I don't care for. What's the difference between these two? One's plain and one's not. Okay. I would love to do something with these. I just feel like they're going to be way too big. I'd also love to use this side, but the light on them just makes them a bit strange. And if you turn them all the way back around, you still get a little bit of light, but it's a bit buggy. My other option for creating a backsplash is to just do it custom with some rocks. But for the sake of saving us some time and probably a lot of budget, it would be nice to do something a bit more simple. I was wondering about lining these up together to create something, but oh, the snapping. Also, the scale seems really strange. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work, sadly. I've run out of windows as well. Something's cooking there. I was almost thinking of like a stained glass type thing. Can you customize the windows? Nope. If this could be made a brassy, bronzy color, that would be perfect, but no such luck. That one won't work. This one's too wide, I think. And very thick. Mm. Where do those windows come from? It's giving like earthen, ornate ochre window. Oh my goodness, I'm so clever. They do come from the quartermaster in Donegal. So that's a pretty easy thing to go and get at least. We'll come back to that. If it looks a bit strange, it looks a bit strange. Hey Jess, so nice to see you. She's cooking. She is indeed. She's doing her best. How are you doing? I did housing for a bit, but I got lazy when I realized how far I had to go to buy stuff. Then went back to mount farming. That's fair. There is a lot to it for if you want to get lots of decor in your inventory, like in your storage, to be able to use. It does take quite some doing. Oh, I didn't notice that big gap at the back. Do you see that? Over here? That's going to irritate me mildly. If I just push this back, does it really make a difference? It kind of doesn't. Maybe I could even... I'd love to not have that clipping issue in the corner there, but that would involve overlap like that, and I'm not sure if I like how that looks. Also, the lighting. This problem happens in The Sims as well. It must be a really difficult thing to program. Colors at different angles, depending on where there's light coming from, makes colors look completely different. These two cupboard spaces counters are the same swatch. They're both heartwood, but they look completely different. At least to me, I have like a reader filter on my monitor which doesn't come through on stream, but I think on stream it's even worse. How different those colors are, but I think it's because I've got these windows here potentially. But if I'm not really prepared to take them away because something's happening there. I just not sure if I like it. To be fair, the alternative are rocks. Where do you find rocks? Stone? I considered using like these, which also can't be customized. But I feel like they would make probably a more standard looking little detail for behind the hob. E. Oh, these axes, please. I didn't realize. Why are they not laying flat? Is it because I messed with them while they were on the ground? They are not very even. I hadn't noticed that, albeit they do belong in the ground. Hmm. Hide a window inside the other table. That honestly could fix it. That's a good idea. I didn't think about that. I'm not gonna like this. I'm not gonna like this one bit. I'm also gonna need a lot of these to make it look like something. Maybe? I think I'd have to make my own one with just individual stones. You do also have individuals of those stones. We'll come back to that. Just like my enemies, they belong in the ground. I realize I never actually gave this disclaimer at any point, even when I started this build in the last stream. I get meticulous when it comes to the details like this. This kitchen could have been done an hour ago, but I'm focusing on the tiniest details. That's just, listen, I grew up playing The Sims. I have made so many houses. I've restarted my Animal Crossing island twice. Like, it's detail or die for me. So If this is super slow moving for you, I do apologize, but that's a running theme for me. This is the least surprising thing in the world of Eva, don't worry. I thought that might be the case. What else are we putting in this kitchen? Somewhere to have running water. And annoyingly, we discovered that is it called the basin? Sturdy wooden wash basin can't be customized. Which is strange. Can this be customized? Nope. Could I use it anyway? Because that wood color is actually basically identical to the one I'm using. Ah. I don't mind it, but I'm going to struggle to make it look like there's water in the sink. Unless I'm not. Actually, maybe I lied. Did we do it like that? Should it jut out like that? I don't really mind it. We just need to cover the bottom, which I think I can do probably with one of these nice platforms. It's not quite the right color. Or I use this if there's a really flat stone. I have exactly 2 levels of effort. Maybe later, and I will spend a full month on this thing until it is perfect. Unfortunately, I do not get to decide which group a task goes into. Yeah, that's okay. You can switch up the attitude in housing whenever you like. You can always come back to it. Ooh, that's not a bad color match. And we can probably make it fit, even though it's a irregular shape. Or you can also dye cobblestones. So we could even try and match it even better. But I think the default is as close as we're gonna get. Oh! Oh. I mean, I think that's better, isn't it? Is that better than that? Yeah, it is. 100%. Okay. Let's make it slightly smaller. Oh no. The irregular shape is really going to do me dirty here, isn't it? I can just use 2. I think we can just use 2 and it'll be fine. Please? Clipping into the back is less of an issue because we won't see it. Hopefully. I'm going to have to use loads, aren't I, actually? I might even have to use 3. I like the sink like that, with an upside down blue rug inside of it. Yeah, that's the common thing. I've used some of that trick out here to create a sky, although I need to dye it. I didn't have dye when I placed those rugs. I think a lighter blue color would look better. That was my original thought, and it is definitely a good idea. But I feel like if I can make the stones work, that would be good. But the rug idea will be a backup. Oh, please tell me, is that the only one I've got? Oh no. What about this one? Oh, okay, you can't customize that specific cobblestone. Okay, where does one get a slate cobblestone? Probably from the vendor, right? Razorwind Shores. Okay. We can buy some more of those. Why did I buy one? I've bought multiples of so many other types of stone. I guess I thought I wasn't going to use the slate ones themselves. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to use pairs. The pair or the trio. That's going to cause me issues. Or I'm getting so far ahead of myself right now. This isn't an or, actually. I don't know why I said that. This is just to create some illusion of water. Yeah, it has to be. It has to be. That's not going to work, sadly. Unless it will. There's a tiny amount of clipping, but I really like the size of it. I think once there's stones covering the wood, you'll still see that water animation going on in there. Can't customize it. Brilliant. Hyperfixation, mount farming, and M+, no effort, housing, and voice training. T, relatable. Okay, so the shopping list is slate cobblestone, another one of those cooking grills, I'm not sure what else we're going to put in here right now. Bear with me, this might look really bad. Really shouldn't have spent the dye on it until I was sure I wanted it like this, but I don't love how high the ceilings are in builds generally so far. So I'm trying to clutter as much as possible to make it feel a bit cozier. I mean, that looks good in my opinion. I thought that would look worse. Hadn't seen the rest of the build. It looks so pretty. Oh, thank you. Sorry, I just breezed over the fact that there's a whole greenhouse out here. This was from Monday's stream. We made a greenhouse. I'll hide this so you can hopefully see. Apple tree, blueberry bush, a gardening table. Not really sure what you would call that. And just an assortment of custom gardening things that I put over here. This one comes pre-built from one of the vendors in that Legion zone, Valshara. But this one is an actual table with individual pieces put on it. And then just loads of flowers and lanterns and things to make a little indoor garden, greenhouse. And then the only other finished area is a little reading nook over here, which I made completely by accident in the last stream just because I entered flow state and this happened as a result. So today's job has been the kitchen, and then if we have time and creative energy left, through this curtained off doorway is going to be a pantry, which so far just has an assortment of items that I found that would fit well in here in my opinion. Also, to be honest, I should probably introduce you. This is Okasan, which for those who don't know Japanese means mother in Japanese. I made her specifically for housing because I think I just wanted a character to base a house off of, if that makes sense. And Pandaren to me just feel very homely. They feel like they would be very welcoming, very accommodating. They would be great hosts. So she's like a little grandma, even though her name means mum. Obasan is grandmother, which wasn't available. So I named her Okasan. And she looks like a little old panda lady. So this is meant to be her house, was the theme I went with. But that's the house so far. I'm doing tiny pieces at a time. So there's a big empty space over here, which is where we're going to expand eventually. But I just thought keep it small, keep it simple, because I'll just get overwhelmed otherwise. um, okay. Now I'm kind of wondering, do I want to put those corn husks up here? That looks pretty adorable, doesn't it? And then maybe some curtains if I've got enough. I don't have the right types of curtains. There's a similar one to this that might be nice. I'm just thinking of, I almost used my hand on my monitor like you could see that. I'm thinking of draping 2 curtains, like some short ones along the top here. If that doesn't look too cluttered. I know exactly which ones they are, I just don't actually have them right now. This one won't work anyway. Although, would it go in this tiny space? I've made it so small. Oops. Oh, that's quite pretty. I've said this before. This style, this kind of elven style, is a bit too ornate for what I'm looking for. But from what I've seen, curtain options are a little bit limited. But I think if you rose them up so that you can't see that lovely delicate wood shaping at the top and just did it like that, maybe it looks a little bit more simple. But I maybe have a feeling if we put drapes along the top of this cabinet as well, it might look a little bit overkill. But we've got the means to put 2 of these right now, so we may as well. This is scale 50. I didn't consider that this is going to be the wrong way round. I thought I could do this like The Sims and just flip it, but that's not going to look good, is it? Oh no, it does. My bad. I thought it would look... Oh! Although you notice how the backside doesn't have this detail. Ooh, that's going to irritate me, I fear. Can we live with that? No, I fear I don't think I can. They're also not the same size. 55? Oops. And then... Does that sort of thing annoy anyone else, or is it just me? Like, I guess if I spent enough time here, I'd go blind to the fact that that's a thing, but that irks me greatly. But I don't think there's a left half of that curtain. I don't think it exists. I think they just made one. So with that in mind, I'm going to get rid of them. And the rest of the curtains I have, I don't think... I think we'll do the drapes along the top. I just don't think curtains on the windows are really going to give what needs to be given, you know? It's going to be too small. They look kind of silly with how kind of detailed they are when they're shrunk down so much. But I think making them big enough to cover both windows is too much. Yeah, way too much. Nope. No thanks. Okay. So, I was making a list in the last stream of what we need to go and get. So we want 1 cooking grill. a handful of the slate cobblestones for the sink. And then curtains. Hmm. Anything else we're vibing with? I have just had an idea. I was worried about something to put behind this cooking setup. What if I remove this wall and replace it with a cobbled wall, like one of these? I think this would work. Oh gosh, I might really regret doing this. Oof. Oh, I actually placed that pretty perfectly. I put that down sort of willy-nilly. But if it works, it works. The clipping in this room, don't worry, I've got you covered. We're going to fix it. Just not right now. I mean, that immediately makes that corner look a bit more interesting. Still intrigued to put something up there. Maybe just like another shelf or something. The answer to can we live with that is always a no. We get you. I'm glad I found my people. Oh my goodness. I really enjoy that we can keybind in housing, but they're so fiddly. It's taking me a long time to like get used to how they work. I don't know if any of you guys have had the same issue. What I've been doing to make custom shelves so far, the best plan of action I've found is to just use a table flipped on its head. I'm actually going to shrink this one down even further. This just adds something, I feel like. Maybe there? And then our trusty heartwood. I've pretty much run out of clutter items that I can put on said shelves, but we've got some cups, we've got a plant pot, or that's meant to be like a herb. I feel like barrels might look a little bit strange up there. We've got this bottle shipment, but I really dislike that they've got skulls on them. I feel like that would fit really well in like a bar or a speakeasy or something. They look like spirits, which maybe they are. I don't feel like Grandma would have a ton of alcohol in her kitchen. But apart from barrels, I'm not sure what else I would put up there. We've got cooking books, we've got a random basket, we've got more cups. Running out of options. Candle? Candle actually is kind of cute. I might do a candle. Oops, it's kind of jutting out. I didn't notice. And it's floating. Didn't notice that either. Is that correct? Yeah, that looks more correct. Okay, we have a candle. Would I hang any plants off the wall or off the shelf? I feel like a really common trope that lots of people have woven into their builds is to incorporate plants all throughout to kind of cover seams and corners and things. I don't mind it. I think it looks quite sweet, but for me, I don't think I want the vibe of it feeling overgrown. I want it to feel cluttered, but I've kind of exhibited the overgrown vibe in the greenhouse because to me that fits. I don't know if I want vines crawling into my living space, but I don't know. What's this? Little box of something. What did they call this? Why did they give you the name of the object? Pandaren lacquered crate. Unfortunately, it can't be customized, so those colors are not going to work for me. No. Oops. Probably not food. Preferably nothing with metal spikes on it. That doesn't feel very cozy. I'd love something that looks almost like spices, but I think we'd have to do something custom for that because they'd be tiny. That's another light. There's a kiln, which is absolutely enormous. And it's smoking. I don't love that. Oh, I do have these. Why didn't they show up as curtains? Interesting, because they've called them drapes. I thought I didn't have any of these. Maybe they're going to be too large. Hey Jacob, how's it going? Does this look better than curtains? I mean, I actually thought it would look better than it does. I think it's because I'm thinking of this. This is much more what I'm looking for. Okay. Now the question is, do we want it on here or across the windows? I feel like two of these might be a stretch. I don't know. I only have one for us to experiment with. How do the colors look? Okay, so you can dye the rings. And you can dye the fabric of the curtain, but you can't dye the netting. The netting stays brown. I don't mind that. I mean, something super simple. I am noticing that there's a pretty striking lack of color in my kitchen so far. I think this would probably work. I don't mind having two of those, I think. We'll see. I get so sidetracked as I just look through the catalogue of different things. I meant to be finding something to put on this shelf. This is still irking me. I feel like I should be able to do something with this. Maybe it needs to be turned on its side. Just not sure what that could look like. Um, See this, I said earlier, this could look like a salt and pepper shaker, but you can't customize the color. And so leaving it just like that kind of looks strange, especially because I only have one. Sorry, I'm late. I got stuck beading. Oh, bless you. Don't be sorry. I hope the project's going well. On my Farley's favorite part, lots of hair. Yeah, I can imagine the hair takes a really long time, especially because you've managed to capture like where it shines and everything. That must take a lot of doing. Maybe I'll just put another basket up there. This is a slightly different basket from the other ones that we've used. Maybe even two. I'm just going to be really rude and stand on my counters for a second. There is another basket. It's the only basket I've got. Vase? No. Pot? Can we customize this? Probably not. No. Maybe we just grab the last of these baskets. Just make it really tiny. Surely you can customize these. Yeah, we can. We could at least make it a different color. Probably try and make it give it a pop of color too. I was maybe thinking of some kind of green. Dust wallow green is quite nice. Do we have any other colors going on in the kitchen? There are quite a few. There's some blues and purples over on these shelves, but then there's greens over here. Let's go with green. Maybe something just like this. It's not too bad. I envisioned it being a little bit more cluttered, but I think that's fine. Gives us something that breaks up the rock wall a little bit. Just follow the pattern and go slowish. Not much more to show. Literally got an update a few days ago. You'll be finished in no time. Sure, that's exactly what you want to hear. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we would add to our shopping list before we head out, because I don't want to end up coming back and then immediately needing to go back out, you know? Still curious about these stones as a backsplash. But now that we've got a stone wall, maybe it looks a bit strange. Yeah, now I'm suddenly not vibing with that idea. But I think the ochre windows could still work. Ochre. I honestly don't mind the fact that they emit light from one side. I was previously using the back side, but I don't know, because I'd probably use 3, and I think that would be a little bit overwhelming with the light, because if we put these two next to each other, I mean, it creates a really nice golden glow in the kitchen. Maybe we only need 1, like maybe just the middle one could be glowing facing forward. I don't know. I was essentially thinking of trying to make a little bit of a stained glass feature with these. I'd honestly kind of like them sized down a little bit, but they look a bit strange when you do that. We make them both 70. And then yeah, I'm not convinced by all the kind of clipping it has to do. And I think the only way to try and fix that is to like tip them slightly. I don't know if I'm just making something I don't like by doing that. I'm missing an extra window, which I need to go and buy. Okay. For the most part, we can just head out to the vendor in Founders Point, and then we can also go to the vendor in Razorwind Shores. We have 4 things on the list, so I'm just going to bite the bullet and go, because I could stand here all day fiddling with different things. I think potentially I have a character in Razorwind Shores already, so I don't have to worry about trying to get her out there and then back here. I have a feeling my main is in Razorwind Shores. Cooking grill. Len Splinthoof. Oh no.
Offer rare goods from distant realms.
You can also get it in Razorwind Shores. Maybe that would be easier.
Next one is on me.
Not these guys. Are there other vendors around here? There's the vendor here, but I think he sells plants. Yeah. And he doesn't sell the cobblestone that I need. That cobblestone is also Razorwind Shores. Do you know what? Let's log over to my druid. Oh, she's in Dornagal. That's fine. We need something from the quartermaster there anyway. Oh, I also, I mentioned this earlier on in the stream, I think. I have created a second YouTube channel specifically for stream VODs. I just thought it might be a nice addition to have my streams uploaded onto YouTube for anyone that doesn't use Twitch, and it might also be a way for some people to find me. And I know lots of people quite like the long form gameplay videos to have on in the background for various things. So yeah, the channel is called Evela VODs. Can't really miss it. And so far I've posted the one stream VOD, which was from Monday. Why is there only this window available? I was hoping to put the one with the extra kind of mosaic feature in the middle and two plain ones either side. Show me ochre window. Meadery ochre window? That's the one I want, isn't it? It comes from the last boss of Cinderbrew Meadery. Okay. I don't think I'm going to do that right now. So I guess if I can, I'm going to transfer some resonance crystals. Uh-oh. Your warband does not have enough of this currency. No. It says that it does, but it's probably outdated. Okay, that's fine. We can't buy that right now. But we should be able to buy the rest. I'll have to think about another potential backsplash idea if that's something we still want to do. Let's just do this. Please excuse the fact that my guild neighborhood is called Bumnug Isle. That was... I'll give you guys one guess who came up with that name. I was too slow to contribute a name that would have been actually nice, so we've been left with that instead. And we fly straight past the Horde House because I can't bear to look at it. Who am I looking for? I'm just going to talk to everyone and see. You sell the slate cobblestone that I'm looking for. Just going to get a ton. 10 gold, that's fine. Let's get 30. The rest I don't mind not picking up right now. I kind of prefer making my own stone formations with singular ones anyway. I have enough plants. This is Bella Meth stuff. Oh, she'll sell... No, she sells the drape I don't like. Not you. You also sell elven things. That won't do. Gronthal and Shonja. I think Shonja is the one who sells the fire. Yes, she does. Let's get 5, why not? Anything good here? I don't care for the Horde Orcish themed furniture, believe it or not. It has its place, and I'll definitely build with it eventually in like an Orcish theme. But I just find it a little too jarring for me. The rugs are kind of cute. None of these, I don't think. Too many tusks. Okay, so that gets us the grills, the cobblestones, and now we need to go back. So I think we go back to our lovely Pandaren. She can find the curtains, and then we're gonna have to miss out on the window. We'll just leave. Maybe we'll leave the backsplash for another day. Give us some time to get some inspiration. Curtains. I have a feeling you sell curtains. You sell this curtain? Yeah, the Folk Valance is the one I'm looking for. Let's get a few of those. I have lots of those rugs that can be used to make a fake sky. Don't think I want anything else right now. Let's take that. I'm going to have to do some more die crafting as well. Maybe I'll do that off camera. I don't want to spend a ton of gold on dye, what I've been doing so far is just, if I can't be bothered to farm the herbs on my druid, I'll buy the herbs, mill them down into dye pigments, and then craft the dye that way, because it does save a pretty substantial amount of gold. Buying actual dye just straight from the auction house is expensive. And I've earned a good amount of my gold back from buying a load of items from vendors and such, but I don't want to lose it all again on things I can just make with a little bit of extra effort, you know? So this is scale 44. And then it's just about getting it level with the other one. In fact, if I put them on top of each other, it's easier to tell. It's pretty close, isn't it? Let's do that. How does that look? That's kind of pretty. It's pretty much what I was imagining. And I don't want to cover the window too much because we put in all this effort to make this greenhouse outside, to cover it up with curtains. What color do we think we should make the curtains? I don't think I'm going to change the metal color. In fact, I'm a little bit considering pushing them up so high that you can't see them. No, we've got enough heartwood. We can use heartwood for the rings. The curtains themselves, we've got pops of green and we've got pops of blue. So do we follow that theme? That's a pretty color. Naming a blue Dracthis Saphigosa because a handful of people will see the double meaning. I'm getting the, unless it's a niche thing, I'm getting Sapphire because Sapphire is a blue gem. If that's what you mean. If it's a reference to something else, I didn't catch it. That's a pretty name. I like that. We're not doing reds, I don't think. This Tide Sage teal. Maybe? Do you know what? I think I'm vibing with this nice, really pale sage. I told you sage is a safe bet for me. The yellows are a little bit too much, in my opinion. Let's go sage. Let's not think too hard about it. Running out of my sage pigment, sadly. Okay. We can also use the rest of our slate to finish the sink. We customized this to be a, what kind of blue? Was it storm steel? It was. I don't have enough. It's fine. They're pretty similar. I can fix it later. I'm sorry to anyone that this is going to bug. It bugs me too. But we've just got back home. I don't want to go back out and take away time from decorating to go and do more crafting of dyes and buying furniture and such. We're going to need a couple more anyway, aren't we? Gosh, this is difficult. Let's try and line that left side up with that. Oops. That doesn't clip. And then maybe spin this one around. there. And then we need one more, but it's going to be the wrong shape, I fear. But because this one's right at the back, we can probably have it a fair bit bigger and just push it like so. The clipping is a bit strange, but once we've got everything in the same color, I reckon that will probably be okay. I think that looks kind of sweet. Do we want to push the basin down even further? No, then we kind of start losing the water feature. It's quite cute. Oh, a hint at sapphic. I should have caught that one too. Yeah, I like that. I guess it's got a triple entendre then. I may not be out half of my guild, but there will be hints. I love that. Just looks like there was a water leak when you leave the rock on the floor. That's probably as good as I'm gonna get for a basin of some kind. I don't hate how that looks. I've just noticed something that's really gonna bother me, but I'm actually not gonna tell you guys what it is. Do we want to put anything next to or near the sink? I do also have to consider that it's okay to leave some counter space free. That is kind of the plan. Oh no, that looks so strange. I was thinking, can I make a bar of soap? But I've just got this strange purple tube sticking up out of my cupboard. I was sitting here scrolling thinking, does any of this stuff look like it could be soap? Honestly, these candles turned upside down probably would, but do we want red soap? It's also like melting. They're huge. I do kind of see it. It just looks really strange. No, we can do better than that. Um, I customize this. No, that being a sphere on the top was looking very promising until we couldn't customize it. Love just 100%ed another game on PS5. We 100%ed Mortal Kombat 1 yesterday. That was fun. That one wasn't too difficult either. I quite enjoyed that. Am I about to shrink this Valdrakken fountain down because there's like a soap-colored egg on the top? Maybe. Wait, this kind of eats. It has water in it, which is disconcerting. Does this look... Does this kind of give sex toy? Wait. Oh, maybe this doesn't look like soap after all, I fear. Can I get this arrow to go away? Oh no, now I can't pick it up. I've lost my sex toy in the kitchen. Come back. I can't remember if I have that add-on that lets me, Damn. There's an add-on where if you lose an item, you can like search for it. Can't remember if I downloaded it or not. Now, how did I have the kitchen set up? Like, the sink was jutting out slightly. Oh, actually, now I can show you the thing that was annoying me. I came out to look at the kitchen like this. Do you like how this bolt at the bottom isn't centered with the sink? I wasn't sure if I could fix it without breaking things, but I'll fix it now. There we go. Nice idea for the Valdrakken fountain looking like soap, but it was looking a bit sus. Maybe a cushion? This is much more promising. Oh, it does have the thingy on top of it though. If we shrink it down enough, do you think you would notice? And where would we put said soap? Does it look weird on the side? I feel like it maybe does. Windowsill? Maybe we could make it a nice lilac color. That's actually really cute. I'm sorry. I'm going to do that. I'm committing to that. But we don't want the soap just sitting on the wood, which means we need to find a little dish for it to sit in, right? I have a idea. That's actually not the idea that I had, but now that I've seen it, I think this might be quite cute. It kind of does what I want it to do. It looks a little bit weird. I was kind of hoping for it to be like more of a metallic or ceramic color. And I actually can't customize it, so I'm gonna revert that. I think this is too big. Unless we just make a second bar of soap. It's kind of sweet. It wasn't what I was picturing. Bone white. Yeah, I wanted something lighter in color to provide a little bit of contrast. And maybe the bone white is the move. Hmm. I wish it was slightly shorter. Carved. I type carved. What happens? Yeah, you get a bench, but not quite what I want. Dish, plate, bowl. Maybe something in that elven style is what I'm looking for this time. Shelf? It's gonna be too big, isn't it? Or I can't customize it. Maybe this? This is looking good. I mean, it's kind of perfect. Aww. That's so adorable. It's clipping, but I don't think I can fix that. And it's such a small detail. I don't think you'd notice. I can't customize it either. But I think it's either that or this little stool. But I think I personally think that the bench looks better, like the box. Yeah, let's just do that. Cute. Like a little bar of soap in a dish. Gosh, my attention to detail sometimes really gets the better of me. I bet when midnight releases, we're going to get some really nice small accent pieces. Like I'd love a glass, like a wine glass or something. But there's nothing glass. We've got some bottles. But I mean, this has a quill in it. It's not quite what I want. And this is a bottle of anima, which is also not really what I'm looking for. Flask. Water. Nope. Maybe we just keep it simple. I know there are those that basin has a towel on it, but because I can't customize it, I'm not sure if we can use it. I was going to see if I can lower it down. Oh my goodness, stop. It works perfectly. Maybe we could even... Is it clipping out here? Oh, it isn't. Slay. Maybe we put it on the sink. Does that make sense? My other option is putting it on this corner, but I think that's where it's gonna clip through and we're gonna see what the item actually is. Or yeah, this is... That's not gonna work, unfortunately. But that's okay. I mean, it works this way, which is honestly good for me. It's hanging down kind of low, but... Oh, it's also not centered. Let's fix that straight away. Oh, you can see it inside if you look far down enough. It's a nice detail to have, and you can tell what it is from looking at it here. I think that's fine. Also, while I'm here, I'm kind of interested in changing the colors of these windows. Mm. It's kind of dark, but the wood tones are like my Achilles heel in this game so far in housing. And I can't use mesquite brown because I only have one. It's okay, we'll leave it like this for now. Upon coming back into the house from buying stuff, I also noticed that the fridge is lacking in a handle. I'm wondering, do I want to use a table or a barrel? I feel like I want to use a table. This will probably work fine. It's such a tiny detail, but it means a lot to me. Can't customize the color, annoyingly. It's not bad. We're going to have to go with the blue towel because we can't change the color of it. It's pretty. I think the only other thing I was hoping to have in the kitchen is something here, like an island. And I was considering using, I think they called them cabinet. Yeah, short wooden cabinet. Maybe if we put them, we want to do like this back to back. That was what I was envisioning, is having 2 layers of them, like 2 rows. They're not perfectly straight, which is a bit irritating, but might be the best we can do right now. They also don't meet in the middle, like at the back, but I think if I push them together too much, they actually don't clip, but you can see where the grain of the wood hits. Also, you see the fact that the colors are different again. Maybe we can just cross them over. Maybe that's fine. Yeah, I actually quite like that. And then, actually, let me try something. We're going to just make everything brown. If I then duplicate that, does it keep the colors? It doesn't. That's fine. I guess you have to apply dye, don't you? So it would be cheating if you were able to get dye for free. Oh, I didn't think about this. Clipping on the sides too. Although, hang on a minute. No, I was considering lowering them into the ground, but that's not going to fix my issue, and I'd have to fix the rest of the kitchen if we wanted to do that. Eesh. That might have to be okay. Oh no, it looks bad on the top. Ugh. I might have a solution. Let me just commit for a second. I'm committing a lot of dye to this potential failure, but that's okay. I can make many, many more. Let me push this one into the one next to it. Try and get it perfectly aligned. Oop, come back. It's probably as close as we're going to get it, isn't it? And then line it up with the one behind. More or less like that. And then one more round of brown dye. Okay, there is some clipping. But in terms of what I wanted the island to do, it's doing exactly that, which is really nice. It just gives a little bit more dimension to the kitchen and introduces it in the room a little bit sooner, which is nice. In terms of covering that up, there are some tables with runners on them. And I'm wondering, that's ugly, let's not use that one. I'm wondering if we could maybe just cover it up. Like, how would this look? I didn't even consider that this one was even available, but it might not work because, yeah, it's going to be too wide. But just for science. Yeah, you can't get the runner without getting the table with it, right? That's a shame. There are lots of things with kind of draped fabric over it. This was more of what I was thinking of. Maybe this is better. But we may also have the same issue. Yeah. My last ditch effort is going to be this one. which I do have 2 of. Oh, this one might just work a little bit. It's not perfect and it looks a little bit weird. But if we put 2 together and marry them in the middle, maybe it will look like a little picnic blanket of some kind. Can we customize these? Oh, please. I don't want blue. I think we might have solved it. That's pretty adorable. And it really takes away from the fact that the counters are glitching into each other. I think I had them married up pretty neatly. I don't think we can do it much better than it is. Now on this table is where we can put more food items. That makes much more sense than having it on shelves, for example. So if we go accents, food and drink, what would we put on here? Probably a fruit platter. You can customize the fruit platter. Oh, is it the plate? Yeah, it is. Okay. We can do like a nice gold plate, maybe, rather than silver. It doesn't really... Silver doesn't super work in this kitchen. Or the bone white. Yeah, I'm not mad at the bone white. I don't want to put too much over here, but I was just thinking maybe this and some bread. Although the fact that it's not on anything is annoying to me. I think we're gonna make our own chopping board and put that on there. Tea set. Kaheti Predators assortment. I mean, that looks great. It doesn't really go with our fruit platter, but cheese? No. The tea set's kind of cute. Maybe we do the tea set. It's large though. We need to shrink her down a little bit. Just something to pull focus from the, not the mistakes, but the glitches. Tell you what, from this angle, we'd be better off putting the tea set behind and the fruit in front, wouldn't we? Because you can't see the fruit from when you walk in. Can't customize the tea set, sadly, but that's okay. It's the sort of thing that it wouldn't necessarily match, would it? Especially because this looks like her finest tea set. That's better. Look how cute that is. And then we can still use the bread. I was thinking of putting it over here. Well, to be fair, it could go on this corner, but I was thinking over here. And we can probably just make a really easy fake chopping board. Because having it just out on the side is bugging me a little bit. What looks like a chopping board? Probably this, but it's very large. It's the same table that we've been using for cupboards and things. Also, the bread is, that might have to get scaled down. I just realized how big she looks. Carved wooden table? Preferably something with a hollow underneath. We could use a stone one. It's too big. Ooh, this is pretty. Maybe this is exactly what we need. Can be a slightly different wood texture and color, that's totally fine. Ah, I feel like putting it on a little bit of an angle because having it at a perfect right angle feels a little bit unnatural. So if we just do it like that, lift it up ever so slightly more, and then just bring the bread up as well. So it actually looks like it's sitting on it. I mean, the bread's still too large, but can I make this any bigger? I don't really want to make the bread smaller. I think we'd be better off grabbing the bread and trying to angle it so that it looks like it's fitting better like this. Because I actually think the bread being bigger is better. Adorable. Oh, I think the kitchen is genuinely like almost finished. I did not think that we would be done with the kitchen today. Still a couple things to amend, such as the fact that the sink has different colors of stone in them and we need to try and uniform those up, but I need to get some more dye. We need to put the other cooking fire on here. And I was going to make it smaller than the other one. This one's 23. This one's 20. They're a little bit similar. The exposed flame is, I don't love it, but it will do the trick for now, won't it? I'm going to make this maybe... no, I think it was fine how it was. You get the gist of that, don't you? One's got something bubbling away and the other one's just going to be exposed. It looks all kinds of dangerous, but that's all right. We have a fake fridge, which now I come to think of it. This is what the inside of the fridge looks like. Let me fix that before I forget. Do I just take... we can probably just use a pillar on this side. That's probably easier. Yeah, look at that. You'd never know. Unless you would, actually, because I might have to use two. Tell you what, let's just cover up everything, shall we? Let's do that. And then grab another one. Put it in there. Push it back and bring it down. I would like it to marry up as best as possible with the one next to it, just for my peace of mind. Something like that, so you can't actually see into our fake fridge. And then this room is going to act as our pantry. I think that makes sense. This room's going to be small. I won't put very many things in here, I don't think. I mean, I say that. I imagine it just having lots more counter space. We'll have a load of the kind of fruit and spices and all of these different stands. We have an empty one that we can customize ourselves as well to put some different things in. There's this big grapevine archway that I've shrunk down because I feel like if we hid that into a counter, it would just look like a big bushel of grapes that she's just brought in. We've got a basket, another platter of fruit. There's probably more food that we could put in here as well. We've got some kegs. We may as well use those. So it's definitely coming along. I also would love to use this fishing net, but I'm not sure how I would go about justifying that. Let's just see. What did we use here? We used this silver sage color, didn't we? It's quite pretty. It's a little bit bright for my liking. Also, the fact that you can't change the gold. Eesh. That's okay. How many silver sages do we have left? 1. Okay. I have 4 of these tide sage ones, but maybe we need to be leaning into the blue if we can't customize this picnic basket. No, we can do the tide sage. I'll put it on the pantry for now, but then these we're not going to be able to customize right now. Not to match anyway. We don't have enough silver sage. I think that's lovely. Finally caught you online streaming. Howdy all. Hey Boohas, how you doing? I hope I said your name right. Please correct me if I said it wrong. I am live. We've just finished, or more or less finished, creating a custom kitchen in WoW Housing. You said it well, don't worry. Oh, good. I went down the Spanish route just because it made sense in my brain. I don't know if it's like finished, but the progress we've made today is exceptional compared to what I was expecting in my head. We've got a nice island with some fruit and a tea set, a custom fridge that has so many compartments to it. It's completely not functional, of course, but with a bunch of like clutter items up top and some books and some fake cabinets. The wood colors, they are literally the same. They're all heartwood with some copper accents. In fact, maybe it would help if I take the copper out and just made everything heartwood. But the lighting is causing the same shade of brown to look different on different things. That's fine. I'm not too worried about that. I think as we spend more time in the house, we won't notice it too much. I never changed the dye color of these. See? Attention to detail. Is Portuguese, Spanish similar enough? Yeah. I don't know any Portuguese. I used to live with a girl that spoke Portuguese and I helped her with some of her like exam prep. So I heard her speaking some Portuguese, but I can't speak Portuguese myself. I speak Spanish, but similar enough that I caught the vibe of the name. Awesome cozy house. Thank you very much. I'm pretty happy with how it's coming along. I think it will be a work in progress for a long, long time, if not forever. But that's part of the appeal to me, is just constantly working away at it. Especially when we go into midnight and we get even more decor options and everything. I'm probably going to have to reconsider certain areas of the house to like potentially tear some parts of it down altogether and start again, because I get a different idea and whatnot. But for now, for early access and for the decor we have our hands on, I think this looks pretty good. I have just noticed that the counter, the island, juts out further than this actual counter here. And I think rather than pulling this out to meet this, I might just put like a plant pot. I think I'm actually out of pots. Basket? I do still have some baskets. That's nice. If I just put a basket here, we can kind of conceal the fact that this isn't even. Would we make it a different color at all? Any more shades of green that we want to throw in? Oh, we should be careful not to make it too mismatched, shouldn't we? Maybe we'll just... maybe like a really warm dark brown, something like this. Kind of frustrates me that you can't change the color of the wicker on the top and the bottom. That's quite a pretty color. There's a lot of colors going on in the house right now. Maybe I'll just stick with the default color. I'm going to match this one to the one that's above it though. I also prefer these more realistic cozy homes versus the crazy sci-fi stuff people make. Still awesome, just not my cup of tea. I agree. It would be nice to experiment in trying to make something like that myself down the line, but I've essentially told myself the plan is to have the house that's in the Alliance neighborhood, which is this one, be something that we work on stream. So it can kind of be an ongoing project, and then use the Horde neighborhood house as something that like I can experiment with off camera and maybe make like YouTube videos from or whatever without impacting this, because I'm going to kind of treat this as like my baby, our baby, something that we're going to work on together. And I would hate to like have this cozy kitchen and a greenhouse and then turn down here and see like a void room or something. That would just completely offset everything in my brain. So yeah, we're keeping this house cozy and realistic, I think, for now. And then we'll experiment with some other things in a different house. Keep the two things separate. Let's throw a little custom plant together here, shall we? This will help us get some color in here too. I like these Gilnean roses, but I'm wondering about, do I just use the Valdrakken vase shrunk down? I have been meaning to use this. It's beautiful. You can make this with Dragon Isle's alchemy. It's nice. I don't think it's quite the vibe. It's very, very bright. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I like it, but it's not quite what I was looking for. We have blues and greens in here. Maybe this is nice, actually. Just another rose bush. Like the nice muted pink tones. Or we could just do like straight green. Like I could just take a tree and shrink it down. Quite happy to do that. How does that look? I think it's a little bit too like abundant. Yeah, we want something a bit more kind of subdued. Palm tree I don't think is the right vibe. I don't think a cactus is the right vibe. What is this? No. What about this one? Or these? Well, this is a different tree from the one I used, I think. But it's the same issue of being too thick on the top. Perhaps mixing some of the different bushes, shrink them and mix them and match the colors. That could be a nice thing to do. I'm a bit worried about with bushes. I think they'd have to be really tiny to not like bleed out of the basket, if that makes sense. Like I really love this. And actually, to be fair, you might be onto something, Buhas. We could just lay this on the top and then it looks like there's a plant in it. Maybe it could even drape down the side. Maybe you're onto something. Hey, Mekex, how's it going? Happy Friday. It's the weekend. This is something. I might need a couple of them stacked on top of each other, like you said, Buhas, to make it feel a bit more abundant. I don't know if this is what you were suggesting, like your idea, but layering bushes, to be fair, I hadn't thought of. I was only really thinking about flowers. If we just like turn the angle of this, then it can drape down a different side as well. Does this look strange or does it look okay? I think it actually looks quite nice. Going okay? How are you guys? Doing well, thank you. We've been chipping away at another corner of the house today. We have a pretty much fully finished kitchen, which I'm excited about. That's the wrong shade of green. I think these are going to be two different shades of green going on. Although, we do have ivy. They're huge, though. Would this look okay, or is this too much? This might be overkill. Yeah, that's too much. Well, let's try maybe one more of these Baron's Hosterbush. I hope I'm saying that right. And again, just turn it slightly so that it's rowing in a different direction. It looks okay from this angle. Maybe we can make one of them slightly bigger, just so it looks like it's growing more in one spot than another. That's quite pretty. I think that works, to be honest. It almost looks like a little herb. That was the vibe I was going for over here with this plant. This looks like she's cooking and then she just needs to reach for a chive and she chops something like this off and then throws it in her cooking. I guess this has a similar, this almost looks like basil or something. I think that works. Okay, so we have the counter with the fruit and the tea, the fridge, the hob with the oven, something cooking, some drinks. We got some clutter up above the fridge itself. We got some decor up on these cabinets. Something's missing from up here, but I don't know whether to just... I'm considering just blocking the whole thing off with like platforms or something, because I don't massively care for the empty space there. I am also a little bit curious about making a custom dormer. If I'm ever doing too much, please tell me. If we spend the next 3 streams in this kitchen and you're sick of it, tell me that we should move on and I'll listen to you. I just think it would be very easy for me to board all of this up to close it off. But what if we manage to get like a skylight or something? It might mean we have to get rid of this cabinet here, which is fine. How do you make a skylight? I'm going to need one of those Lightwell things, aren't I? I used one already. They come from the Priest Order Hall from Legion, I think. Netherlight Temple. Do you think it would be cute to have a window that's like up here? Kind of shining light in? I feel like that would look nice. Do I have the means to make that happen? Maybe I would put... this might not work actually, because you can't size these down, can you? This is going to look a bit crazy for a second, guys. Bear with me. If I put this at an angle, I probably prefer 45 degrees, but it might have to be 60. Do you see the vision? Yes, kind of. I think 60 degrees is what we need. How was 45? No, that's too steep. We could even do 75, but I think that's maybe a little too shallow of an angle. I think 60 is the sweet spot. We could do something like this so it hides more. I have less to cover up. And it sort of feels a bit less invasive. We also need to think, do we want it to be in line with the beams or like offset from the beam here? How does it look? I think right above the window is going to look the best, because when we inevitably put a window there, or maybe two windows, having the windows off-centered from each other might annoy me. So I think this is the vibe. Now that I've put that there, I've realized that I want to use the stone one because that wall is stone. Goodness gracious me. Flip this to 60. Push it back. And push it up. It's kind of like this, right? Oh wait, no. In line with the windows. That looks better. Okay. We're going to end up covering this gap by putting a slanted platform. Oh, I knew this was going to happen. The colors just aren't the same. Ooh, that's irritating. But we can probably make it work with the Belemeth platform, maybe? Oh, I'm not sure, because this style of platform matches the color of the rest of the wood, like the ceiling. I'm just going to commit. Oh gosh, oh gosh. I'm making this up as I go along, by the way, so if it looks really janky, your patience is much appreciated. Scale it further down. Gosh, this is tricky. Something like this. like that. Now, I might inevitably have to remove that to put a window and a sunwell behind that window. But just for science, this is kind of the vision. We have to turn this window away from us because of that horrible blue light that it has. Tip it forward. Raise it up. Do we think one light is enough? I feel like it probably is, isn't it? Is it me or does it look slanted? How weird. I think... Oh crap, I didn't think about this. We can't put that platform there because the window needs to go through it. So we need to fill this gap with the window. Oh. This might be an issue. Oh, but you can size windows up. Okay. Then it's going to be one ginormous window, potentially. Or two normal size ones. What's the best option here? Eesh. Let's do one there like that, and then grab another one. Any gaps we can fill in at the end. I'm not worried about that. What angle are we at here? 300. I don't know why they don't look like they're lined up, even though I haven't changed certain rotational axes. Ooh, this is tricky. It's going to be worth it. Gosh, that is crazy. Like that. I'm trying to use keybinds because it feels a bit more like I have control, but you can't be quite as accurate in terms of the sensitivity of how far things move when you click a button. Okay, so I think it's actually going to turn out to be two windows because I think one window is going to look a bit obnoxious. The other option is to flip one window horizontally. But I think two is actually kind of cute. Let's grab... I don't think you can shrink these down, can you? Oh, you can. I don't think I have the beams that I need. That's irritating. Maybe I can just use these for now, just to see. Oh my goodness, the like perspective is crazy. Just gonna move this over. I'm gonna get rid of it actually, because I think it makes more sense for the windows to touch the cabinets on the bottom end. And then we can cover the top end because it's by the ceiling. I feel like that makes more sense. Don't know if you guys agree. Maybe do it like this. They're going to have to overlap a little bit, aren't they? Ah, gonna have to replace those beams like ASAP. Don't know why I don't have any of those. I must have used them all. And then we just want to cover this gap at the top, basically. Which I think I'd rather do with 2 beams than 1. Kind of like this. And then basically all we would need is the Sunwell item from the Priest Order Hall. Stick that behind the windows. And you have a custom sunlight. Not sunlight, what are they called? Skylight. Which I think just adds something kind of nice to this kitchen to fill in that space without it being just boarded off. I could sit here and fiddle with this all day is the issue. I like how this one's like inset into the dormer. Just trying to get this one to do the same. I don't know why it isn't. Unless they're at different angles, but I don't think they are. Right? They're both at 300. Yeah. And then I think I had them set at 3 because for some reason they were wonky. Oh, I wish I could get up there and like see better what I was doing. That one's inset now, but then they're not equal. What? What is going on? Maybe it's because they weren't at 0. Do you see that? Like, why when they're both at 0, does one look wonky? When the rest of the axes are correct? How weird. Well, I think that's as good as it's gonna get. But I mean, it's pretty amazing. I'm happy with that. Cool. I don't know how much the light is going to block the fact that you can see the ceiling behind the window. I can try and put a rug back there just for good measure. Accents floor, preferably something, I guess, square on this occasion. Maybe, or we just use the regular standard rug that everyone uses. What color would we make this? Gosh, the blues are very blue, aren't they? I'm considering more of just like a white. Let's go with the bone white. Oh, actually, hang on. I don't think I mind them. The rug being like facing forward. I actually think that works for what we're doing right now. Because I mean, we're going to put a fake sun there anyway, so it kind of is already giving that vibe, isn't it? And then just scale it down a little bit. We'll see if that looks weird, but I don't have the light with me right now to finish it off anyway. Okay. So eventually there'll be a light shining through those windows to almost create like a ray of sunshine so we can bask in the sun while we're in the kitchen. I think that looks really cute. It looks like a converted barn. Let me hide my UI for you. Well, I think pretty much the kitchen is going to be done. I'm not sure what we're going to add to it now that isn't just like little touches here and there. So I'm probably going to wrap stream up here for today. Thank you guys, as always, for joining me. It's been a pleasure to have you. It's Friday, and I don't have another stream planned for this week, but I release a new stream schedule every Sunday in my Discord server. You can type !socials for all of my links, including Discord. And I will try to keep my actual Twitch schedule on Twitch up to date as well. Depending on how busy things get next week, I should hopefully be able to stream at least a couple of days like we've done this week. But for now, thank you once again for being here. I appreciate you very much. I hope you've been enjoying the housing journey so far. We've still got lots and lots to do, but I've very much been enjoying the journey as it's unfolded so far. I hope to see you all again very, very soon. Enjoy your weekend. Have a very happy Friday. And I will catch you all later. Bye.